Stand by. Hello and welcome to regional coverage of 8-man Division I football coverage here on Hot 105, also hot1055.net, and on the YouTube channel Chanute Radio. We're going to pause 2 minutes, and when we come back, we'll get you a preview of this ball game. You're listening to coverage of St. Paul football on Hot 105. Back here at St. Paul, getting ready for this regional round of the football playoffs. Zol Lopez filling in for Dan Vitt, along with Mike McCracken here. Studio engineer is Floyd. Kristen running the camera here tonight. Glad to have you here, whether you're listening on the airwaves at 105.5 FM, on hot1055.net, or on the Chanute Radio YouTube channel. Glad to have you here with us. And Mike, it's been a long time coming for St. Paul after what has been many struggles for seasons, finally getting to the playoffs, and not only that, but winning the first game in a big fashion and now being rewarded with a trip to regional.
That's for sure, Zol. It's been a long ride, especially for these seniors. They started out playing as freshmen. A lot of them had to start as freshmen, and they took their lumps, got beaten up on pretty good there for the first couple of years, but they stuck with it, stayed in the weight room, did a lot of hard work off season, a lot of hard practices, and it's all paying off here now, especially for these seniors. And
you and Dan, you've called a lot of these games. We've seen the coaching change with with Coach Watrick now at the helm, and these kids seem to be buying in on what he's selling, and that's a testament to him to sticking with this group and sticking with things, and just knowing that with a little bit more effort in the weight room and pulling some kids out of the hallway onto the field, that it was going to be this sort of a showing here for St. Paul.
Yeah, you bet it is, and that's one of the things Coach Watrick's always been, is really supportive of his kids, and he works hard all the time. He's hangs out with them off of the field as well, and they've truly become not only coach and player relationship, but they're friends off the field, and that's really paid off because it's taught these seniors a lot about leadership and how to be strong both in character and while they're playing their sports. And even when they were down, he was always there to pick them up, and I know that they all really appreciated that.
Well, the St. Paul Indians, they come in at tonight's matchup at 9-1. Their only loss was the last game of the regular season, winning big last week against Peabody Burns, and now they have to take on, depending on which poll you look at, whether it's the KPI, K-Preps, Wichita Eagle, whichever you look at, either anywhere from the number 3 team in 8-man Division I or the number 1 team in 8-man Division I, and that is the Burlingame Wildcats. This is going to be a very physical matchup right from the get-go.
Yeah, that's for sure. St. Paul's played some physical games this year. The first part of the season, they didn't finish a game. They were able to win by the mercy rule. They did have to play a full game against West Elk, and then the last couple of games in district, obviously tougher competition, but they've been able to stick that out. Now, Burlingame, on the other hand, I don't think they've played a complete game yet this year. They've point ruled every team they've played. They're a strong team, have been all season, so it'll really be a challenge for the Indians tonight.
It's going to be a treat of a matchup. In fact, this is the only matchup in Southeast Kansas, and it's not been a good weekend for Southeast Kansas teams, as pretty much up to this point, every team in Southeast Kansas has been eliminated, minus the Girard and Columbus meeting between those. But earlier we saw Galena lose. Independence was knocked out. Labette County was knocked out. We have Caney Valley in action. So an opportunity here for St. Paul really to shine, not just here in Southeast Kansas, but put a lot of people on notice here throughout the state of Kansas. And you kind of get a feeling that perhaps maybe a little bit of an upset might be in store here, especially with that Girard matchup over Columbus, who was ranked top 5 in the state of Kansas, and they're gone.
Yeah, I know the boys have been excited all week to play, and several of them went over and watched that Girard game last night. One of them happens to live with me, and he came home all pumped up and excited. He said, you know what, upsets are possible, and we just saw one, and I think that they're looking forward to having a chance to do the same thing tonight.
Well, for St. Paul, they will have their white helmets with the maroon tops and the maroon pants. For the Wildcats, they will come out here with black helmets with a red trim down the side, and then white helmets, white bottoms. So, excuse me, the Bearcats of Burlingame. I was getting mixed up there. Wildcats. Actually, I was listening to K-State coming down here. So here we go. 8-man Division I regional playoff football coverage here on Hot 105 and the Chanute Radio YouTube channel. Kickoff is on its way. It's a low sidewinder fielded around the 10-yard line, brought up to the 20. On the far side, evades one tackle up to the 30 and is brought down near midfield up towards the 38-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bearcats. Great return.
Great return. That's senior Anthony Hovestad. He's going to be playing wide receiver also for the Bearcats, so we should see some of him. Bearcats are known for a passing game. That's been one of the weaknesses maybe of St. Paul's defense if they've had one this season. Been pretty strong against the run, so they'll have their hands full with this Bearcat passing offense.
So here we go, 1st and 10 for the Cats, taking on the St. Paul Indians. Going left to right on your radio. Quarterback in the shotgun position. Sporenson's a man in motion, drops back, he's looking downfield, he hauls it up, and it is incomplete. Well contested by the St. Paul defender. That was Noah Winter, step for step on that coverage.
Yeah, good coverage by Noah, and he was right on his man, was able to see that ball. The sun's kind of in their eyes. They're going from east or west to east, correction, and it's hard to see that ball when you turn around to look for it. Noah did a good job on that play.
So here we go, 2nd down and 10, clock stopped. Bearcats will send one man to the near right side, one man back deep. Quarterback shotgun sends the wide receiver in motion. It will be a handoff to the back man and evading one tackle, but runs into a line of defenders. It'll be a pickup of 3, 3rd and long for the Bearcats as they get to midfield.
Good swarming defense by the St. Paul line there. They were able to close that hole. The end, Patrick O'Brien, was blocked out of that play. The running back cut inside, but the Indian linemen were able to swarm him in a gang tackle.
3rd and 7 for Burlingame. making the long travel here to little old St. Paul.
Brought a nice crowd. The
Oh
opposite side of the field is just full of people, so they
were
got a heck of a following.
Here as early as 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So here we go, 3rd down and a long 7. Sporing the quarterback, 1 man on the far left, 1 on the near right. Shotgun is quarterback. Hard count, got nowhere in the pass. On and out of the hands of the intended receiver on the far sideline that was intended for Noonan, and it'll bring up 4th down and 7. Looks like they do have one man back. Yeah. And St. Paul equally sends 1 man back. Chandler Struthers. High snap, brought down, good release, good punt, sidewinder, and they kick it away from Struthers. Good call as it takes a St. Paul roll back to the 20. So it'll be 1st and 10 for St. Paul.
Yeah, we'll see what St. Paul's got here on offense now. All year long they've relied on Chandler Struthers. He's been their main threat, but the nice thing, and advantage Coach Watrick has, is several different threats. A lot of athletes on the St. Paul offensive side of the ball, including Noah Winter, Bravenborn, of course Chandler Struthers, and then Cameron Parker's been doing a really good job at fullback this year.
So here we go, 1st and 10 for the St. Paul offense. Quarterback under center, Winter calls for it, pitches out, good block, and has room to run, dives forward for a 6-yard pickup up near the 25-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 4.
Chandler Struthers on the carry. He's been banged up a little bit these last few games. He's a tough kid. He's really taken a beating, but he just keeps on, come out and rest a little bit if he needs to, but he's really showed his toughness in the last couple of games.
Good pickup there for St. Paul. Winter under center, I formation, bunched in tight at the line. Be a handoff. Struthers trying to bounce to the outside, finds a corner, kicks it into 2nd gear, gets the 1st down in front of the Burlingame sideline. Great return carry by Struthers for that 1st down, first down of the ball game.
Yeah, a little pitch play there to the right side, pitch to Struthers, and they tried to string the defense out. He was able to turn the corner as he got over the sideline for a nice gain.
10-13 to go, 1st quarter, no score. It was a 3-and-out for Burlingame. And now St. Paul getting their first down of the ball game up to the 33. I formation, Winter under center. And now it'll be a handoff to Struthers again, finds room to run, and he's taken to Suplex City back to around the 33-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 2, but whew. Burlingame and physical, showing their physicality early on.
That's right. They're good sized, and they are definitely a physical defense. You can tell by the way they hit. They wrap their arms up well and make good tackles.
2nd down and 8, clock rolling. Ball to the 35. St. Paul breaking huddle. It is quite the contrast of offenses on these first drives. We saw a lot of pass for Burlingame. Now we're seeing ground and pound for St. Paul. Noah Winter with the late pitch, gets it to Struthers. Struthers dancing around, doesn't get much, but a hard 2 yards. He had to do a lot of tap dancing for that, and it'll be a 3rd down and long 6.
Yeah, St. Paul running that option play to the left side. Noah probably pitched it maybe just a hair early on that read. Sometimes you like to get the defensive end right up on the quarterback before he commits to making that pitch, so they'll have to work on that. But we'll see what St. Paul's got to go here on 3rd and long.
So here we go, 3rd and long for the Indians. Winter under center, Struthers the man back deep. I formation. And it'll be a pitch out to Struthers, cuts back inside, and he goes nowhere. He's a loss for a yard. It'll be 4th down and punt for the Indians.
Yeah, so far Chandler Struthers is the only St. Paul Indian back to touch the ball, and he's been the workhorse all season, and they're going to, looks like, ride him pretty hard here. But we thought about it earlier before the game. One of the best defenses against this high-powered passing offense of Burlingame is maybe to keep the ball on the ground, try to get up some clock.
Struthers will drop back, getting ready for a punt. And it'll be Burlingame sending 1 man back. That's Colton Noonan. Snap, back, punt, almost blocked, but a good back to the 10, and that's where Noonan will field it. Cuts to the far left side. He gets hit by 1 arm tackle, gets out of it, and then he gets brought down by a host of St. Paul Indians close to the 25-yard line. 1st and 10, so both teams not a whole lot of offense outside of that first down of the ball game. Outside of that, didn't go much further for St. Paul, and now you get those nerves settled down.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think, these first couple of drives, everyone will get settled into their game and trying to feel each other out, find some soft spots, what might work or not work when you're running that offense, but they'll get settled into their game on both sides of the ball here really quickly.
1st and 10 for Burlingame at their own 25-yard line. Quarterback shotgun, has a man on the left. It'll be a quarterback keeper. It tries to cut back up, stays patient, falls for close to a 4-yard pickup. Following the blocks, being patient was the quarterback there, Sporing. Now, one thing that stands out to me about this Burlingame squad is that offensive line. They have some tall towers up there.
Yeah, they've got some beef up there, and St. Paul's never had an issue with being oversized. But they've done well against bigger matchups.
Sporing shotgun. He has to the right Greenwood. One man to the near right side. 2nd down and long. It'll be a handoff to the running back who gets close to a 1st down. 7:25 to go here in the first. Still no score. It'll actually maybe short of that 1st down. It'll be 3rd and chain links. Officially a yard now. Ball at the 35. St. Paul's defense so far has kept Burlingame out of the St. Paul territory of the field.
Yeah, look for Burlingame to air it out here probably on 3rd down.
3rd and short. One man on the near right, one on the far left. Shotgun. Sporing will keep it himself, goes right up the gut. He evades one tackle, and he busts to the outside. Room to run, keeps going, and he's brought out at the 20. Close to a late hit by St. Paul. No penalty on the play. And it'll bring up a 1st and 10 from the 20.
Yeah, Colin Carlson was in on a blitz there and read it pretty well. He just wasn't able to make the tackle on the quarterback, and he sprung free without any help for several yards down the field. He made a 25-yard gain on that play.
So now in the red zone are the Bearcats. Quarterback dropping back, looking to his left. He's going to air it out, and it is caught and through. No, he's going to be short of the touchdown. A great pass, 18-yard pass up to the 1-yard line of St. Paul, and that's the first connection of the afternoon.
Yeah, and that's what they've done all year. If you look back on some of their statistics, they've got a lot of yards passing. I think the quarterback's got over 2,000 yards passing this year.
Quarterback shotgun. Sporing has a man to his left. 1st and goal from the 1. Count, and it'll be Sporing keeping it for himself as a trap play. Blew open the door and able for Sporing to get in there. Touchdown, Cats.
St. Paul has to get out there and answer this now. Don't let themselves get down. That's the first drive of the game. Well, the 2nd drive of the game and the first touchdown in a little bit of a hole here. Now the defense has got to keep their heads up, not let that get to them. Get the ball back in their own hands and do some scoring on their own side of the ball.
The Bearcats are going to go for 2 with 6:38 to go here in the first quarter. Cats up to the line of scrimmage. Sporing, shotgun, man to his left, 2 receivers split out, 1 far left, 1 near right. Looking over to his left, back over to the right, pulls it down, looking to go himself. He's still undecided, goes up, and it is caught. And it is into the back of the end zone. Giffen with it for the 2-point conversion, and the Bearcats are up by a score of 8-0 here in the first quarter. Back in 1 minute for the kickoff. You're listening to coverage of 8-man Division I football playoff coverage on Hot 105. Back here from St. Paul, where it is an 8-0 lead by Burlingame, and this one booted up to around the 10-yard line, and Struthers comes right up to the 25, cuts back in, stays up, and gets near the 30. It'll be 1st and 10 for the St. Paul Indians.
St. Paul pretty vanilla on their first drive. Zoll, they ran basically the I formation, the quarterback up under center. They also ran out of the pistol and some shotgun. They've got several different looks, and I'm sure Coach Watrick's still looking for some of these soft spots on the defense, and then we'll see him try to change things up later on in the game.
Don't forget, you can watch the game on the YouTube channel Chanute Radio. Search Chanute Radio, and you can watch this broadcast live. So now split back, Winter under center, counts, and he gets it to the halfback on a late handoff. Great run by the St. Paul Indians, especially after being initially hit in the backfield. That was Cameron Parker for a 3-yard pickup.
Yeah, Cameron Parker, the backs were split that time. Cameron normally the fullback, but he does run hard. He's run hard all season. He's always been good for 2 or 3 yards a carry. Last weekend he was able to break one free and finally score a touchdown. Let's hope he can do it again today.
6 minutes left in the first. Indians with a 2nd down and 7. Winter will keep it himself, bounces to the outside, now back in, and he gets close to the 1st down marker. It'll be 3rd down and 1 after the pickup of 5.
That's been one of the keys to St. Paul offense. You've seen that now that they've relied on Chandler Struthers so heavily. Then they hand the ball to Parker, then Noah bounces it outside on a quarterback keeper. So there's a lot of different options that the Indians have for running the ball.
Breaking huddle, 3rd down and 1.5 for St. Paul. Winter under center, split back. Going right to left on the radio. And it will be a handoff to Struthers, who got the second effort. It's going to be short, about 4th and inches. Now it's decision time for Coach Watrick. You're down 8-0, but you don't want to panic either.
That's true, and we'll see what Coach comes up with. I got a feeling that 4th and long, I think he's going to try and go for it.
Burlingame, their front line, they got some good
yeah.
pushes here on these last 3 plays. They've been doing a great job of moving that line against St. Paul. So they are going to go for it, are the Indians. Let's see if they go for a hard count here. Winter under center, I formation. And it'll be a direct snap to Struthers, and he bounces to the outside, 1st down. 5-yard pickup, and the Indians convert on 4th, and it'll move the chains as they get into Burlingame territory. 1st and 10 from the 39.
Yeah, Burlingame defense really showing their intentions there up the middle. The linebackers were acting like they were going to blitz and actually did blitz, I think, and Chandler was able to bounce that outside and make that 1st down.
1st and 10. And now wing formation. And it'll be Winter keeping it himself, finds a hole on the outside, ball's loose, but jumping right back on it for the St. Paul Indians was Struthers. Sometimes in games the ball bounces your way, and that time it did for the Indians. About a half-yard loss on that, but you'll take the half-yard loss as opposed to the possession loss.
Yeah, that's right. Good heads-up play by Struthers to be watching the play go. He was a fake. The ball was fake to him as he went to the left, but he turned around and was watching the play. He was able to recover the fumble.
4th down, or excuse me, make that 2nd down, and 4 minutes to go here in the first. 8-0 lead by the Bearcats of Burlingame. Perfect 10-0 on the season, top 5 team in the state. And it'll be Winter dropping back, looking to pass. It was an all-out blitz, up and caught! Oh no, dropped!
Couldn't bring it in.
That was Patrick O'Brien. He had it. He hauled it in, and as brought it in, the nose of the ball came off of his chest, and it ejected out. So instead of being 1st and 10 from the 11, it's now going to be 3rd and long back at the 40.
Yeah, that was a really nice pass by Noah. The pressure was on. Burlingame really putting the heat on him. He took a hit as he threw the ball. Patrick was open, had the ball in his hands, just couldn't quite keep a handle on it as he turned around.
That's the first pass play of the game for St. Paul. 2 receivers far right. Winter shotgun. There's a man on the wing. Now dropping back, Winter. Blitz again, and Winter running for his life. He gets tripped up and a loss.
Yeah, you could see that coming. They were really showing blitz, and they came with everybody.
They'll bring up 4th down, and let's call it eerie.
That's pretty close.
As it's back to the 35 of St. Paul. So they will be forced to punt again. You don't want this game to become a what-if, especially with that pass. I think that one's going to haunt the offense for a while. You got to shake it off, though, in these games. Struthers boots it away. Good end over end. He gets it right there to immediately. Now on the far sideline, blocking the back, not called. And again, Boot kicks it out on the outside. Returned up to the 30, about 2 missed block in the backs.
Yeah, I saw for sure 1 and maybe 2, but 1 probably should have been called. Regardless, it wasn't, so now you've got to play good field position for Burlingame.
Yeah, back-to-back great returns for the Bearcats. It'll be 1st and 10 from the St. Paul 30. Clock to the 2:54 mark. Now, like you said earlier, you do not want to fall behind early to this Bearcat team. This is a team that is capable of putting up points and in a hurry. So now shotgun, man on the far left side comes across. It'll be dropped back. Quarterback looking, has room. Now he pulls it down. He's going to run. Gets up to the 30, and he's brought down. Great open field tackle by the St. Paul defense. That's Patrick O'Brien.
Yeah, good job by Patrick. The St. Paul defense looked a little bit confused there when he took off running. It was a wide open middle of the field, but they did a good job covering the receiver. The receiver on the far sideline, I saw him fall down on his route.
That was a great job by O'Brien, not dropping back, staying at home.
Held his position well. He did a good job.
Going out to the flat. 2nd down. And about 9.5, 2:16 left in the first quarter, 8-0, Burlingame leading, traveling here to St. Paul today. Shotgun is the quarterback, Sporing. And now it'll be a handoff over to the far side, stretch play, evades 1 tackle, and then he gets wrapped up after a 3-yard pickup. Baracos on the carry.
Good blocking by the Burlingame offensive line. They really made a nice hole around the left side.
And we have to think for Burlingame, 4-down territory. They have it at the 26 of St. Paul. So if you're the defense, you're thinking we need 2 big stops here, not just 1.
That's right. I know there's a lot of pressure on the defensive ends to try and contain that outside run game, keep everything pushed in so they've got some help.
Clock rolling, under 90 seconds to go, first quarter. 1 receiver near right. Sporing shotgun, 1 man back deep. Now rolling out, delayed pitch, and he bobbles it. Ball carrier evades 2 tackles, cuts it to the inside with the block.
There was another block in the back downfield there that they didn't call.
That time it was right in front of the official. In fact, if you're watching on the Chanute Radio YouTube channel, you would have seen that. Apparently you would have seen it better than the official. Either way, it's now 1st and 10. Either way, though, that shouldn't have even been over there. The 2 St. Paul defenders should have wrapped up and got that stop. He was stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Patrick O'Brien had a chance, got a hand on him. Colin Carlson coming up to help. About the time he escaped Patrick's grasp, he spun outside, and Colin wasn't able to get a hand on him at that point.
1st and 10, ball at the 14 of St. Paul. Burlingame driving, trying to get 1 more score in before the end of the first quarter. Shotgun, Sporing, sends a man in motion, and it will be a stretch play again. Going to that far outside, and boy, what a great defensive stop. There on the stop was Jace McCracken, and he rode the line all the way to the out of bounds to get a 2-yard loss out of the play.
That was a nice play by Jace. He was trying to shed his blocker, but he couldn't get rid of him, but he rode him to the ball, basically, was able to shed him at the last minute and keep the running back going laterally towards the sideline, and then he got rid of the blocker, was able to make a really nice tackle.
Yeah, we talked about the Burlingame runner getting out of 2 tackles. Well, that time Jace, he ran through 2 blockers to get to the ball carrier. That's great effort. 2nd down and 12. Clock stopped with 33 seconds. Sporing shotgun, has 2 men on the near right side at the wide receiver spot, and he will keep it himself, trying to go to the outside, and again, McCracken slows him down enough for the linebacker to get there in time. Looked like that was Dylan Brown to make it now 3rd down and another long 3rd. Here we go.
Yeah, Jace had a chance at him, got a hold of his feet, but couldn't make him come down. Anthony Albertini in there to make the stop finally.
Burlingame gets it up to the 8-yard line, 3rd down. Again, pulled him out of bounds to stop the clock with 26 seconds to go. 8-0 lead. Burlingame leading St. Paul here in this regional round of the playoffs. Shotgun, high snap, brought down, and the running back gets through the block, lowers his shoulders, piles through, and he gets through Are they going to call it?
That's pretty close.
No, they're going to say he was stopped shy of the goal line. So another first and goal inside the 1 for Burlingame. And last time they only needed 1 play to score.
Yeah, and, the St. Paul defense has really been pretty effective at stopping the run so far this year. But they weren't able to do so on either one of these 2 drives.
And now Burlingame's just going to let the clock roll out to the end of the first quarter. So we'll switch sides. It is 8-0. Burlingame leading St. Paul. Back in 1 minute for the start of the second quarter. It'll be first and goal when we come back here on Hot 105. Back here on Hot 105, hot1055.net, and on the Chanute Radio YouTube channel. Zoe Lopez along with Mike McCracken here. And so far this game has been every bit of exciting as we thought it would be.
Yeah, really good showing. First quarter with a score of 8-0. You got to be happy with that, but here Burlingame threatening.
Yeah, and Burlingame quickly getting up to the line of scrimmage. They do not want to slow their momentum. It'll be a handoff to the far side and a touchdown, Burlingame. And just as quickly as this quarter starts, just as quick, Burlingame on the board with another 6.
Yeah, St. Paul defense really, they usually play kind of a bend, don't break type of a defense, but unfortunately that's not going to work against a high-powered offense like Burlingame's brought to town tonight.
Now Burlingame on 4-2. And now 2-point attempt. Pass over to the near left side. Up and batted away. Great defense to keep him off the board. There on the defense was Ravenborn for the Indians, but the Bearcats, get back on the board where it is 14-0. Back in 30 seconds for the kickoff. You're listening to coverage of St. Paul Indian playoff football on Hot 105. Back here on Hot 105, also hot1055.net, as well as on the YouTube channel, Chanute Radio. Playoff coverage. Burlingame up 14-0. Failed to convert on the 2-point play, and now St. Paul with their third drive of the night. And it'll be returned on the 10, up to the 15, and cut down, went nowhere fast for the St. Paul Indians.
Yeah, that was Tyler Struthers, younger brother of Chandler. Tyler does a good job coming in off the bench, gives Chandler a little bit of relief sometimes, and does a really good job on kickoff returns. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to break that one loose that time.
Yeah, St. Paul, they put together a good drive. In fact, they had a dropped pass inside or close to the 10 of Burlingame on that last drive. That really seemed to end the momentum, and now you're down 2 scores. You're still very much in this game, but either if you don't get the score, you need to eat a lot of time off here. Now shotgun, new quarterback in there for St. Paul is Bourne. 2 receivers near right. And we have our first penalty of the game. False start against St. Paul.
The Indians can ill afford to have these mental errors, and basically those false starts, that's what they are, it's just mental errors.
So they'll drop him back 5, makes it 1st and 15 from the St. Paul territory. Now Bourne will come back in, jogging briskly to deliver the play. 11:51 to go, second quarter in St. Paul. Burlingame crowd traveling very well. Shotgun, and it will be Bourne getting blown up in the backfield. He had no shot at that the moment that ball was handed off.
Well, Burlingame was bringing the house on that on defense, and that play was slow to develop anyway, and Braven just didn't have anywhere to go.
So now even further for St. Paul. Just like on the offensive side, Burlingame on the defensive side, they bring a lot of push up front on the defensive side, and you perhaps start to see that line for St. Paul starting to wear down a bit. So Bourne back in there, second down and long. One man on the near right. And now, pump fake. Now Bourne will heave it out. Has the man, and is in and out. In and out again.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
that is to
that
Chandler
is the
Struthers.
second.
It was
drop
in his
pass.
hands. It's one of those cases, Zoll, I think, where you have to make sure you catch the ball first, and that's what
Yep.
it comes down to. And it's such an exciting play, and you know you've got it, and then you just aren't able to reel it in.
Yeah, if he hauls that in, it's 6 on the board.
Got to catch the ball first and then run, but I know that's easy to say and hard to do.
Second time in this half, the Indians have went deep, and
They had it both times, too.
The quarterbacks have had the ball on the spot. The receivers just haven't been able to haul it in. So big break for Burlingame's defense. And also, too, you might have noticed on those 2 deep passes, the defenders, they were beat by 2-3 steps. So could be something there down the road. Now Bourne, obviously, in a throwing situation, and it will be the Bearcats bringing the house yet again. Heaves it up in triple coverage, and it is picked off. Picked off by the Bearcats. Burkos with the pick up to midfield.
Looked like a miscommunication there between the quarterback and the receiver, Jace McCracken. He ran kind of a post route. Braven looked like he thought maybe he was going to run a long out because he threw it over towards the sideline. Jace looking over his inside shoulder, and the ball went the other way. The defender saw it, but the receiver didn't.
So Bearcats will bring the ball back to midfield. Now, I'm used to calling 11-man games, so it is very awkward for me to look at the 40
I'm sure that's right.
Keep saying midfield.
That's all right. Dan always called a 99-yard touchdown run on an 80-yard field, so
there
it's
we
all
go.
good.
There we go. 2 receivers near left. Sporing shotgun has a man to his left. Bearcats going right to left, and they're looking to heave it out. They do, and it's a tackle, open field tackle by Noah Winter as he brought down Zach Herrick. And that mismatch, the size differential between those 2 young men actually would be the best case example of the size of Burlingame against the size of St. Paul.
Yeah, that's right. And Noah's been overmatched a lot this year, but he plays hard and he plays strong, makes up for a lot of that size difference.
That's a pickup of 4, second down and 6. Ball spotted close to the 36. Shotgun Sporing as he will hand it off and spins out of a few tackles. It'll be a 5-yard pickup, 3rd down and 1 on the carry for the Bearcats.
St. Paul's going to have to do a better job tackling. They've had that issue several times this year, maybe even you could say a lot this year. They get their hands on an individual when they're making the tackle. They're just not able to wrap them up and bring them down.
Greenwood on the carry. Oh, wow. I'm surprised they actually got him stopped for about 3rd and 3. So another 3rd down situation for the Bearcats. They've been perfect on the day as they ride the line. Oh, great tackle. And this is going to be close to a 4th down.
Kobe Spielbush on the tackle, stepped right in the gap, met him at the line of scrimmage. Nice hit by Kobe. Held on to him and did just what I said they weren't doing. He wrapped him up, took him right to the ground.
Only a yard pickup, 4th and 2. And of the 2 times the Bearcats have gone, they are perfect on the night on 4-down territory. Great smash mouth tackle by Spielbush.
Yeah, this would be a good time for the Indian defense to step up, stiffen up, make a stop here, get a lot of good morale build up.
And the Bearcats, they want a timeout. They will be awarded it. Their first of the ball game. 9:16 to go here in the first half. Zoe Lopez along with Mike McCracken covering St. Paul Indian football here on Hot 105, 1055.net. Hot1055.net, I should say, and also on the YouTube channel. Those of you who are waiting for Saturday Night Online or Most Requested Live, bringing you coverage of St. Paul, which will get you to the request show immediately following this contest. But winner advances to the sub-state round.
Something new and exciting that the fans haven't been able to do so far, and I know they really appreciate the opportunity to watch this game online. That's exciting.
I thank our sponsors, too, for making this broadcast possible. St. Paul community really stepping up the last two games to get the ball games on the radio, and not just now, but also throughout the season. So now 4th down and 1.5. Shotgun is Sporing. He will hand it off, and first down as Greenwood will spin off the hit and fall forward for a first down.
Yeah, they made that too easy. The offense was able to gain 6 yards on that 4th and short. They're going to have to stiffen up a lot on the defensive line.
1st and 10 from the 25 of St. Paul. Burlingame up 14-0. Sporing will go shotgun. He has Greenwood to his left, one receiver near left, one far right. Greenwood counts. Now will keep it himself, brings it in, able to get through one tackle, and this one will be coming back as the penalty's down at the 25. It'll be in the area of holding. First penalty against the Bearcats here this evening.
Yeah, the Indians will take that if they can get a chance. It's going to be holding, like you said. Take every opportunity they can.
And Burlingame crowd traveling from Topeka is where Burlingame's located. In fact, there's a local JUCO that they actually have a campus near Burlingame.
I think you're right.
I do some research from time to time. I mean, whenever you got a crying baby in hand,
Gives you a lot of time for that.
You got to find something to
That's right.
take your mind off the screaming. So, but a long haul nonetheless for these fans and making the trek out here. Beautiful night for football. Shotgun is Sporing. Greenwood to the left. One man on the near left. St. Paul will drop back into coverage. And ball, hauled in. Great coverage by Winter, but great focus by Noonan to haul that pass in as Winter got his hand in there trying to strip it, but Noonan was able to hold on to it.
Yeah, good pass and catch by the quarterback and the receiver, but also good coverage by Noah Winter on that play. Good concentration on the part of Noonan.
2nd and 17 is the call. Ball is up to the 31-yard line. Greenwood will now split out to the far right. Giffen to the near left. Shotgun empty backfield is Sporing. Now far right receiver comes across, trying to jet sweep. Fake, quarterback keeps it. Sporing bounces out to the outside, gets the block downfield, cuts back in. Touchdown, Bearcats.
Yeah, there was excellent blocking on the right side of the offensive line by Burlingame and made that play possible. He had half the field to run on the right side.
And the Bearcats back up on the board, 20-0 over the St. Paul Indians. Now trying for the 2-point play. They did not convert it last time.
Indians getting themselves in a hole now that can't let any more scoring go on.
Nope. Now again, this is a Burlingame team that is too well-rounded and they have too much depth to fall behind late on. Two receivers split out far right, Sporing with the man to his left. He will keep it for himself, lowers his shoulders, goes into the end zone. 2-point conversion is good. And the Bearcats are now up 22-0 here in the second quarter. Back in 1 minute for the kickoff. This is St. Paul Indian football on Hot 105. Getting ready for the kickoff. Burlingame up 22-0 with 7:44 to go. And now the ball picked up by an Indian on the return.
Anthony Albertini picked that ball up and tried to make a return, something out of nothing. It is nowhere to go for Anthony.
Caney Valley victorious over Osage City 43-16 earlier today. So St. Paul really needs to settle in here. They have to get a score at this point.
Yeah, we may see some new tweaks in the offense for St. Paul. Try something different.
Winter under center. It'll be a handoff back deep. Gets it over to the near side. Dances. Struthers on the carry. Close to a 5-yard pickup. Maybe 4 or 4.5. Second down. And we've seen the St. Paul Indian offense. They've had some big play opportunities, just not able to cash in on them yet.
Yeah, if Struthers gets a little space and gets able to make the turn and get past the first line of defenders, he's awful hard to catch.
Now second down and long. Shotgun. Pitch out to the far side to Struthers. Makes one man miss, makes a second, and a third man as he gets folded backwards. And they say the ball came loose. Burlingame saying the ball came loose.
Down, but he got stretched out backwards.
They're going to say that the ball did come loose, and it is a turnover against St. Paul. And Struthers, he is down in pain. He got hit low and high. He got stretched hard.
Yeah, he got bent over backwards and stretched out the wrong direction. He's been, like I said, he's been beat up a little bit the last 2 or 3 games, playing kind of sore tonight.
He's down on the ground in pain right now. Staff and Coach Watrick out there looking at him. Both teams down to a knee. Now, Coach Watrick was saying that that he was down before the ball came loose. The officials
I thought maybe his knee was down before when they were bending him backwards. I thought his knee was on the ground maybe, but hard to tell from up here.
No, especially with the way that he was bent backwards, too, the way that it was. It looked like some part of him had to have been down.
Well, and if nothing else, I know his forward progress was stopped for sure.
Right. So clock stopped at 7:27 here in the second quarter.
Like maybe looking at his right ankle, that would have been the one pinned down underneath him, left ankle.
Still giving him some room. Well, the ball game began with both teams as he gets up on his own power. At least just sits up, not up to his feet yet. Both teams began their opening drives with punts, and then since then, Burlingame has scored on every single drive since.
Yeah, Struthers a tough kid. It's like he's hobbling pretty good on that ankle. Hopefully we'll see him come back because they can't afford to lose him, especially with a 22-point deficit.
Good to see that he is walking up on his own power. Very little assistance. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bearcats. They have it up to the 34-yard line, far right hash mark. Cats going from right to left on your radio. Cats, depending on which poll you look at, anywhere from the number 3 team in the state to number 1 in 8-man Division I.
And they're playing like it right now, Zol.
Mm-hmm. They are clicking now. 2 receivers near left. Shotgun, 1 man back deep. Sporing. Drops back, and he is looking to haul it up. He does, and the receiver loses it. Miscommunication. Just threw it over his head. He'll stop the clock, bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, the receiver, Herrick, was out, and he ran kind of a flag pattern out towards the sideline, and the quarterback thought he was going to run long and just threw it down the sideline straight ahead.
No, and Herrick, he could probably start at 3A, 4A football
He's
down
a big kid.
Here in Southeast Kansas. That is a tight end size that you would love to see from programs over here. Shotgun, Sporing, hands it off, now cuts back up. Greenwood on the carry, scratch that, make that. Budarakis with it. That is a mouthful.
Yeah, it sure is, and there's 3 or 4 of them on the team I saw.
Third down and 1 after a 9-yard pickup. But, that's the thing with Burlingame is with them being so close to Topeka, they do get
got a deep well to draw
yes.
from. They sure do.
Shotgun. Sporing hands it off. Peterakis again gets the first down, gets it inside the 20, and it'll be first down and 10 for the Bearcats. You figure, well, how do these? You look at little old St. Paul, and you look at a Burlingame and the 8-man. You think, well, how's that size differential? But then you look at the proximity of the metropolises around them, and then it's like, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, and we were talking about the size difference. That's got a lot to do with that too. You just got a bigger group of people that you're getting your students from. Yeah,
they do, and they, I would say they have a bit more, not overwhelming amount of depth on the sideline compared to St. Paul, but they do have a bit more.
Quite a few, yeah.
Suited up. Dropping back is Sporing. He's looking to haul it up. He has his man. Wide touchdown. Open. And that is Giffen with the touchdown, as Burlingame has now stretched it to a 28-0 lead here in the second quarter.
Yeah, Burlingame's starting to pull away a little bit here now. St. Paul needs to keep their composure. This game's not over. They're able to score and score quickly, especially in 8-man football. We've seen it before. It's not hard to put points on the board if you can just get a couple of breaks go your way. So Indians aren't out of this, and they need to keep their heads up right now.
Now 2-point conversion coming up. Bearcats will go with the 9 formation, bringing everyone in tight. And now it'll be a handoff over to the near side, and the 2-point play is good. And the Bearcats open it up to a 30-0 lead here in the second quarter. Back in 30 seconds for the kickoff. This is St. Paul Indian football coverage on Hot 105. Back here on Hot 105, St. Paul down 30-0 to Burlingame in unfamiliar territory for St. Paul this season.
Yeah, and the Burlingame's really showed themselves. They were only able to score once in the first quarter, but that's 3 times now in the second quarter, and we've still got 6 minutes left to play.
So now the kickoff on its way, and this time they're going to boot it. Get it back to Struthers, who's back in there after the injury. Struthers following the line, gets a few blocks, rolling around, gets it back up to the 25-yard line, where it'll be first and 10 for St. Paul. One of the worst field positions that they have faced in this first half.
Yeah, and one thing about it, no quit in Chandler Struthers. He's back in there still limping around, but he's not going to give up. He wants to play, being the senior leader.
Bring it over to the near right hash mark. St. Paul with the white helmets and the spear on the side. Maroon tops, maroon bottoms. Now, it's not like Pitt State where they have a particular crimson. It's not just crimson or red. It's a particular red. I don't believe St. Paul has a particular
maroon.
red.
I think it's just maroon and gold.
Now hard snap over to the far side and trying to get something going for Bourne, and he gets stood up at the line of scrimmage. Actually gets credit for 2 yards. Got to bring up second down and 8. Clock rolling, under 6 to play, 30-0.
Indians have a pistol set that they run sometimes where they'll have 2 guys set up basically like slot backs with an open backfield with only the quarterback back there. We may see that here at some point.
Winter on the near right, Bourne in at quarterback with the wing. Now he's looking, he's going to haul it over the sideline. Ooh, just a bit behind Winter. Winter getting there a step early.
I like that play, though, that quick slant. That gives him some time. He doesn't have to stay back in the pocket very long, and Noah's fast enough to run that quick slant. If he can get a good pass, he can catch it on the run. That could be dangerous.
Again, St. Paul's passing game, they're getting the separation from the defenders, but they just have not been able to connect to the receivers. So
well, it's the same story we've seen earlier the year. They're not necessarily bigger or stronger, but they are faster, I think, than Burlingame.
Third down and 8. Dropping back is Bourne. He gets it over to Struthers. Struthers, well, gets beat up at the 30-yard line, and it'll bring up 4th down and let's call it 6.
Little screen pass there by St. Paul is a good idea. Here came the defense, and they threw that screen. He just wasn't able to get away from the defender who stayed outside in coverage.
So 4th down decision time, and it looks like St. Paul's going to go for it here. They have to get a score, and they're down 30-0. They have to get a score on. And with the way that Burlingame's playing, it doesn't matter whether you pin them back at their own
That's
one
right.
or here.
Might as well go for it.
Now dropping back is Bourne. Turn around, and it is over the outstretched hands of Winter. That was well defended by Burlingame on the near sideline. Budarakis again, and turnover on downs. 1st down and 10 with the short field for the Bearcats, and they can really put this one out of the way with the score here. Still just under 5 to play in the half. And see how fast striking of an offense they have. Now, as you mentioned, they haven't played a full game. And by the looks of some of their scores, they may not even played in the second half.
Yeah.
1st down and 10. Dropping back is Sporing. Passes over to the far sideline. Receiver has it, stays up, gets through one tackle, and he's gone.
One play, it's that quick.
30-yard touchdown reception, and Burlingame takes the turnover on downs into the end zone.
Yeah, Burlingame really got their foot on the gas now. They're just going to try and do everything they can. They came out on that 1st down play, throwing the pass, and scored on it, but it was going to be a long gain either way, and they've really, they're putting the heat on St. Paul, and it's really hot.
So now they will break the huddle, trying 4-2. They have only failed once in converting. 36-0. Split back, Sporing under center. Hard count, pitches it out, gets the man, and he gets hit in the backfield and stopped. So no more points for the Bearcats, but they've already put 36 on the board on their side. Still second quarter, 4:34 left to go. Back in 30 seconds for the kickoff. This is St. Paul Indian football. Back here on hot1055.net and on the Chanute Radio YouTube channel. Got the Burlingame Bearcats up big over St. Paul, 36-0 in this regional round of the playoffs.
Yeah, it's just a matter of survival now for the Indians. Try to stay in this game.
Struthers back deep, and a sidewinder. They're going to boot it out of bounds, and it will be a penalty. Only the second of the night by Burlingame.
See what coach wants to do. I guess he's going to have him re-kick it, field position from there. No, he's not. He's going to take the ball right there, it looks like. That surprises me.
I'm pretty sure even Burlingame's sitting there scratching their heads.
Wants his offense on the field, apparently.
Huh. Okay, so it'll be 1st and 10.
Look for Burlingame to send everybody on this first play. I bet you they're going to have a big blitz on.
Yeah, I was going to say, in addition to the struggles with passing, it's been part of the defense. They've just been blitzing.
Yeah.
Small pickup of 1 for Winter, who's now in the running back position.
Going to get about 2 yards of the 2nd and 8 for the Indians.
Burlingame doing a great job on defense.
Not a bad offense St. Paul has when they've got Bourne at quarterback, Noah Winter, and Chandler Struthers split in the backfield.
2nd down on a long 8. Clock rolling to 4 minutes. Ball at the 36, and it'll be rollout. Bourne heaves it up and almost
Oh,
picked off. That was a fortunate play for for St. Paul because Hofstad had that locked in.
Yeah, Jace McCracken was open, but it was just underthrown. He was rolling out to his right, kind of threw across his body. That's really a tough throw to get it that far down the field, thrown across your body like that.
Second round of playoff football. As we mentioned for Southeast Kansas, we had Girard advancing, Frontenac advancing, Caney Valley advancing. Right now, the St. Paul Indians down 36-0. And now it's third down and long. Clock stopped at 3:54. And it will be quarterback trying to keep it. Ball came loose. And defender picks it up. Defender launched himself like a Nerf dart gun towards the ball on the field. If it wasn't for that, he picks it up and he's into the end zone.
Easy touchdown. Bravenborn took the snap and he bobbled it a little bit. And Burlingame had the blitz on like we've seen him do so many times, and they hit him just as he was getting control of it again and knocked it loose.
And this game has quickly gone from bad to worse for St. Paul. This is just an avalanche of things. So it's not even a first and goal either. Burlingame could theoretically still get another set of downs.
Yeah.
And now a timeout called by St. Paul to settle down, try to get their heads back into the matchup and just try to pump them up. If you're coach right now, what's your message to your team?
Yeah, that's where it's really important to have a good, strong leader at the coaching position, because now down 36-0, and you haven't even made it to halftime yet. You've just fumbled the ball. Everything is going exactly opposite of what you want it to. So now Coach Watrick's got to get in there, really pump these guys up, let them know that we're all in this together. It's not over yet. There's a lot of game to play. St. Paul's capable of scoring points. It's not impossible of a task as long as they keep their heads in the game, stay focused, stay positive, and just execute better. That's been their biggest issue, is not necessarily not the ability to do anything. It's been the ability to execute plays and not make any mistakes.
Listening to coverage of St. Paul Indian football on Hot 105 out of Chanute. Also online at hot1055.net and on the Chanute Radio YouTube channel. I want to welcome all 60 of our viewers we have right now.
Talked earlier about a lot of our sponsors, though. We really appreciate all them. I know some of them are close by. We got KW Trucking, one of our sponsors. They got a big crowd over there at the shop. They're trying to watch. I'm sure they're listening in, so shout out to those guys across the street.
In fact, it looks like maybe, we made mention of Burlingame in their crowd. It looks like St. Paul's pretty much shut down and everyone's here now.
Yeah, I think everyone's here.
Shotgun Sporing, 1st and 10 from the 11. Going right to left is Burlingame. Sporing heaves it up, has his man, touchdown. How many times is that now in their last 3-4 scoring drives where they pretty much have done it in one play?
Yeah, it's that passing game. It's just so difficult. St. Paul has struggled all year with defending that passing game, and Burlingame's strength is their pass. And it's just, it's almost an impossible task, especially when you put them deep in your own territory like that on a turnover.
And now Burlingame looking to go up 2. And the halftime rule is still in effect, even in the playoffs. We saw that last week against Peabody Burns.
Yeah.
And even for that matter, too, Burlingame. So Burlingame shotgun. In fact, this is the last game of the 8-man Division I side to go on today in the state of Kansas. Everyone else has wrapped up their game. So now just final piece of that puzzle. Pass into the end zone. 2-point conversion's good as that one back to Herrick. And it is Burlingame all over the St. Paul Indians now 44-0. Back in 30 seconds for the kickoff. This is St. Paul Indian football. Back here on Hot 105. St. Paul now in a well of trouble as it is 44-0. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining before half. St. Paul with one of their best records in many, many years.
And that's the thing. No matter how this thing turns out, they've got nothing to be ashamed of.
Now the punt goes back deep to around the 10. And Struthers trying to find room to run, has one man to beat, uses great stiff arm, gets pushed out of bounds into a cheerleader up to the 20.
Number 24, Chandler
Struthers running hard.
Marked out of bounds by number
It'll be now 1st and 10
Trevor Casto.
for St. Paul. And they have turned it over on the last 3 drives. Last time it was a fumble, turnover on downs, and then before that was a fumble, or no, turnover and then a fumble before that.
Yeah, give you an idea on the defensive side of the ball. It looks like the front 4, well, the front 3 and then the linebackers for Burlingame appear to be probably all over. I'm going to say they're close to 200 pounds each, if not over.
3:33 left to go here before halftime. It is 44-0 Burlingame all over St. Paul. Be a handoff to the backfield. Struthers finds room to run, lowers his shoulders.
Good hard run by Chandler on that play.
Again, like, as you gave him credit earlier, he was brought out for one play because of the injury, and whether it's a boost of adrenaline or the pep talk from Coach Watrick, he's out there running full steam almost as if he's a fresh man out there.
Yeah, and he runs hard all the time. If he's in there, you can guarantee he's going to be giving 110% all the time.
2nd down and 2, ball at the 27. 3 minutes left here before half. Winter under center, I formation. It'll be a handoff to Struthers as he gets chased into the backfield, and he's brought out of bounds. And did he get it? He may have got enough for the 1st down. He did a lot of running.
They've got him on the line. It's going to be close. They're either going to have to measure or give it to him.
He may have got it by the nose of the ball, and they do.
Yep, going to give it to him.
Gosh, how long has it been since St. Paul has had a 1st down? And
yeah, it's been since maybe their 2nd drive of the ball game,
yeah.
I think.
I mean, that's credit to Burlingame's defense. They have shut down
they've just
the
smothered
offense.
them. Yeah, they've just smothered the offense of St. Paul.
Under 3 to play, 1st and 10. Winter under center. And now it'll be a handoff to Struthers, gets into the secondary, pushes through. And now St. Paul getting, that's the best run of the night.
Yeah, Struthers' biggest run of the night, about 11 yards, and we've been used to him breaking these long runs, and so far they've completely shut down Chandler Struthers. Other than that nice 11-yard carry, he's running hard. He's just not getting very far.
6 seniors on for Burlingame. Compared to the 5 of St. Paul. Winter under center, and he will keep it himself. Able to fake out a defender. Gets through one, off to the races, gone! And touchdown, St. Paul.
That's that burst of speed I talked about. Noah Winter, Chandler Struthers, brave and born. There's a lot of kids that's got a lot of speed, and Noah showed it there. He was able to outrun the entire Burlingame defense.
No penalties on the play. And St. Paul able to get on the board, crack the goose egg wide open. Now, I was trying to look there. I don't think Burlingame has switched out too many of their original defenders. I think they still have their first D out there. And Winter under center, split back, and Winter will keep it for himself, trying for 2 spins. Ball came out. Did he get it? No.
No good.
But St. Paul did get 6 on the board as they trail it 44-6. Back in 30 seconds for the kickoff. This is St. Paul Indian football on Hot 105. Back here on Hot 105, hot1055.net, and on the Chanute Radio YouTube channel, where you can watch and listen live here from St. Paul.
St. Paul showing that burst of speed and how quickly they can score themselves. They've done that all season long and given the opportunity. I talked earlier, if they can get past that first line or first level of defense, get out in the open field, they've got a really good opportunity to use that speed because they can outrun that defensive secondary Burlingame.
Now Struthers on for the boot. Only the 2nd time in this game, and good kick. This one's going to go back into the end zone. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Burlingame.
Now that was the best kick we've seen in a long time on the St. Paul kickoff team. Put it into the end zone, at least giving Burlingame a long field to play with here rather than the short field they've had the last 3 drives.
And this St. Paul team, they have been running. You look at these jerseys, and they are drenched.
They are.
You and I are freezing up here in the press box, but
they're working.
They are working. I mean, if it was any colder, I bet you'd probably see the steam come rolling out of them. And it's just so odd that here we are in November.
That's right.
Playoff
Still
football,
perfect weather.
and it's 60 degrees. Sporing shotgun, 1 man near left, 1 far right. See how quickly they try to answer back. Now pump, and now he will heave it down the seam, and he cannot get there. No flag on the play. Great coverage by Noah Winter. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10. That was going to be a contested ball, well placed, and credit to Noah on the defense.
Yeah, that was excellent coverage. The quarterback did a pump fake and really took a long time to get rid of the ball. St. Paul defensive line needs to get in there and put some pressure on the quarterback. That's one thing we haven't seen for the whole game. He's really had virtually no pressure put on him by the St. Paul defensive line.
2nd down and 10. Clock stopped at 2:11. 44-6, St. Paul trailing. 2 receivers near left. Sporing, shotgun. Now dropping back, he will roll out. He gets hit in the backfield, stays up, still up.
There it was.
Sporing was 5-yard loss, kept the legs moving, got it back up for no gain to line of scrimmage. St. Paul's defense had him brought down, but he just kept the legs chugging.
But that was the difference there. You could see he got under pressure. He had to scramble, so he lost his focus on the receivers, gave St. Paul defense time to get him caught for virtually no gain.
Clock still rolling. 100 seconds left. One receiver near left, 1 far right. Shotgun is Sporing, 1 man back deep behind him. Sends the near left receiver in motion. Looking over to his left, heaves it up. It's going to be right close to the line. He's going to be short by about 1 yard. Oh.
He's short by about 2. It looks like they knocked him backwards. He didn't get a very good spot.
No. But whenever you're up 44-6, I think you can afford to give up a yard or 2. Now Burlingame back deep at the 22-yard line, their own 22-yard line. Looks like they're going to go for it.
Why not?
Minute 19. See if they try for a big home run style play. 1 receiver far right, 1 near left. Sporing shotgun. Dropping back, he's looking, looks over to his right, and he keeps it for himself. He'll get the 1st down, and then some. He gets into the secondary, and now I think we're going to see
a block in the back or chop block downfield.
Because there wasn't anyone. There wasn't any of the white jerseys. That was all Sporing.
Yeah.
And he had 3 St. Paul defenders around. Well,
boy, they really spread the defense. He had a lot of room in the middle of the field to run.
It'll be interesting to see what the call is because it is going to be against Burlingame. Block in the back against Burlingame, so you're right. It happened so quick.
It was quick.
Either way, it's still a.
It's right in front of the side judge, though, I think is right. He was able to make that call.
Still enough for the 1st down. Clock stopped with the minute 11 left. Burlingame looking to get on the board one more time before half. They will kick off to start the 2nd half as well. And a break huddle, 1 receiver far right, 1 near left. Credit to St. Paul's crowd. They're still hanging around. Shotgun. And it'll be right through the hands of the intended receiver. And that was so lightly tossed that if perhaps maybe a step or 2 forward, Bourne could have picked that off for St. Paul.
Yeah, the receiver was split out to the left, just turned and ran laterally down the line of scrimmage right towards the ball. And the pass was thrown to him as he came nearer to the middle of the field, but he wasn't able to catch it.
46-0, or excuse me, 44-0, 44-6.
44-6, there
Close.
You go.
46 seconds left on the clock. Dropping back, Sporing. Blitz brought in by the defense. Out to the open field at midfield. And it'll be 3rd down for the Bearcats.
Sporling does an excellent job as quarterback. It's no wonder he's got so many yards throwing. He really throws that ball on a rope. It's a line drive. It's nothing about hanging it in the air. He throws a hard pass, and he's really accurate with it.
So 3rd down and 4 at midfield, 39 seconds to go. Burlingame has just poured on the points. It was 8-0 at the end of the first quarter. Now here at the second, it's 44-6. 2 receivers spread out far right. Sporing, hard count, gets the defense to jump, and it'll be a 1st down for the Bearcats.
There again, a mental error. You can't give them anything, especially when they're scoring like they are.
Offside penalty on the defense. The penalty will result in a first
So gets
down
it to
for
the 35-yard line of St. Paul. From the far right sideline.
Burlingame taking a long time in the huddle.
Mm-hmm. It's now shotgun. Sporing, 2 men over to the far right. He's looking, and he heaves it up, and he just threw it away. Felt the pressure coming, and he had to get rid of it.
There again, pressure on the quarterback is key. Even if you don't tackle him, it's still important to get your arms up in his face and make him feel the heat, know that you're there, and he's got to get rid of the ball sooner than he wants to.
2nd and 10, 33 seconds left. Bearcats with a 44-6 lead. 2 receivers near left. Shotgun Sporing, 1 man back deep. Now he will keep it himself. Stuttered step, now bounce the outside, back in. He'll get the 1st down, angling back to the outside. And he'll get it up to the 20-yard line. He shimmied like he was going to pitch it out.
Yeah, he did.
And the defense just froze enough for him to cut back in.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And not only is he a strong passer, he's a pretty darn good runner, too.
1st and 10 at the 20. Burlingame, they do have 2 timeouts remaining. They have plenty of time on the clock to try to put 50 on the board. That will be a double reverse. And O'Brien, there, missed the tackle, stays up. It'll be an 8-yard pickup. Patrick O'Brien had him. Greenwood on the reverse from the near side. Went to the far side, and O'Brien had him squared up, and he just launched a bit early. 2nd and 2 from the 12.
Yeah, really good job by Patrick to stay home. He was right there to defend that reverse, just couldn't make the tackle.
Clock at the 15. And Burlingame has definitely slowed down their offensive attacks here. But they are knocking on the door again.
Back judge is counting.
Now dropping back. Oh, ball dropped by Sporing, rolls out, and he gets.
Ball's on the ground. He wasn't down. Now, see, they called a fumble on Chandler Struthers on a similar play, and I don't know.
They're going to give him an incomplete pass.
Good play by Colin Carlson. There wasn't a receiver in the area either.
No.
I could have picked several things on that one, but
well,
that's okay.
And also, too, you could even say he wasn't out of the box either.
No, that could have been.
And he didn't get it back to the line of
line
of scrimmage.
Yeah, didn't go to the line of scrimmage.
Got a break, another break. Yeah, he wasn't even anywhere close to the original line of scrimmage now that I look at it. Either way, it's now 3rd down and 2. 2 receivers near left. Burlingame going right to left on your radio. Dropping back, Sporing, and he will heave it up to the corner, and it is incomplete with 3 seconds left. 4th down. You want to guess what they're going to do?
I'm going to guess they're going to go for it. If I was betting, if I had to bet, that'd be my bet.
4th and 2, 1 play left before half, 44-6. Very fluid first half.
You know, the first quarter went pretty quickly, but this second quarter seems to have drawn things out, like you said.
3 receivers far right. Sporing, shotgun, empty backfield. Oh, and the defense jumped
Another mental mistake.
And Burlingame will get 5 extra yards.
Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty.
They'll move it up to, they'll get a first down, but really just back down to one more play.
Right. Either way, I think one play was all they were going to get this half. So if you're going to give up a first down, I suppose this is the time to do it.
Yeah. 44-6. They're going to go back to that same set. Triplets out on the far right, Sporing empty backfield. Shotgun, low snap, brought up. Sporing looking, darts it in there, through the hands of the receiver, and incomplete, and that'll bring a close to the first half. But Burlingame, they are up 44-6 here at halftime, leading it in St. Paul. Back in 3 minutes for the start of halftime. And we'll have first half stats and analysis, and we'll get you score updates from across the state of Kansas. Right now it is St. Paul trailing 44-6 back in 3 minutes. You're listening to 8-man Division I football postseason coverage on Hot 105. Back here on Hot 105, hot1055.net, and on the Chanute Radio YouTube channel. Right now at halftime, it is 44-6, Burlingame all over St. Paul. And Mike, first quarter went about as well as you could ask for if you're a St. Paul fan, but if you're a Burlingame fan, you really loved that second quarter.
Yeah, Burlingame came to town. We knew it was going to be an uphill battle just because they've been ranked all season. You can look online and read all about them to know that they're a really high-scoring, threatening team. So you got to feel pretty good about the way the Indians played the first quarter, getting out of that with only being behind 8-0. So going into the second quarter, it was anybody's game. But the second quarter was a completely different story. Burlingame took over the game in the second quarter and basically drove the ball up and down the field at will. Were able to score both slowly and quickly. They drove the length of the field, and then they had a couple of plays where they scored this lightning fast on a one-play, one-score type of situation. So the Indians really had a defensive breakdown, especially in the second quarter. On the other hand, offensively, St. Paul just couldn't do anything. They made some mental mistakes, had a couple of turnovers that cost them, and they just really weren't able to get things clicking at all on offense in the first half.
Yeah, and it was just an avalanche. It seemed like, looking back on it now, it was just an avalanche of things that happened for St. Paul, and it was in a blink of an eye. They were down 8-0, and then it seemed just as quickly they looked up and down 32-0. You kind of have to wonder, not being in that position this season, if that factored into it. And also, too, Burlingame's, they're just a much more physical, well-built team than what St. Paul is, and they are going to quickly wear down a team like St. Paul.
Yeah, and the size mismatch is one thing. You know, you can talk about speed, and I did earlier about how St. Paul's speed is an advantage because they're the fastest kids on the field. The problem is that size disadvantage really takes over because you have to get past that at the line of scrimmage before you can rely on your speed. So really the line of scrimmage has been one of the biggest issues. They haven't been able to have an answer for that blitzing defense that Burlingame's brought. Also the size difference. St. Paul's linemen, while they play hard and they play good and they have all year, they just are not as big as those front three for Burlingame.
And I thought that you brought up a great point here early in the second quarter is regardless of whatever happens here, if St. Paul finds a way to rally back and get back into this ball game, or if it's over here in the next early on in the third quarter, this is a St. Paul team that they have absolutely nothing to hold their heads down about, because this has been a fantastic season, especially for the group of 5 seniors.
That's right, and they're really proud. The whole team has played their rear ends off the whole season long, and they have nothing but, they can feel nothing but pride to be in the second round of the playoffs. It's been a long time since St. Paul's had a football team to go this deep, especially at the end of the season, and they've just worked really hard, earned everything they've had. They've had nothing given to them. So by all means, however this turns out, it's a victory season for the St. Paul Indians this year. And
again, especially after what seems like it's been a while since you've seen this sort of a ball game or this sort of a season for St. Paul and the program. It's great to see that dedication from the seniors finally pay off for the group, and also for Coach Watrick as well, because I know that it was an adjustment for him just as much as it was for those kids out there playing and able to stick it out and get to the second round of the playoffs here this year. Now, I think in the second half, that final drive from Burlingame has to give a little bit of an encouragement for St. Paul, because there for a while it seemed like, okay, well, Burlingame, they're juggernauts, they're going to run away with this. But now you saw where, yes, they drove. Yes, they busted off big plays, but they did not get into the end zone there. So it's not all doom and gloom for St. Paul. They can still very much get into it. And even before that, and before Burlingame's drive, St. Paul's drive, they had some big plays, and we saw Noah Winter bust off a big run into the end zone.
Yeah, Noah Winter busted off the big play, the big running play, but also remember there were 2 really good pass plays that St. Paul just came up short on. The passes, it was unfortunate they just weren't able to complete the passes, but both of those were for long gains, and at least one of them was probably for a touchdown. So you count in those 2 extra scores and a couple of different breaks on defense, a couple less mental errors, and St. Paul's right in this game. So they've played really well against a really solid and really good Burlingame team that we knew we'd face. And so, they've done everything they needed to do. It's just been too many mistakes and just not able to capitalize when they had an opportunity.
Well, just from as a former NFL coach once said, they are who we thought they were.
That's right. They are who we thought they were.
There are no
That's
tricks. They're everything that they've been built up to be. This is a great team. A lot of fun to watch. And also credit both teams. There has been up until that point in the second quarter, there had been very minimal turnovers. 1 fumble by St. Paul, and then 1 takeaway from there. Outside of that, very little penalties, low turnovers. This has been great battle between these two teams.
Yeah, and the scoreboard really doesn't tell the tale of the game. I mean, if you're here watching it, it's been a hard-fought game. It's been a physical game. My goodness, it's really been a physical game on both sides of the ball. St. Paul defense, even though they've given up quite a few points, they have really put some hits on some of these Burlingame Bearcats. You ain't got me saying Wildcats too, but the Bearcats. And so Burlingame's going to leave here. Know they were in a fight. Know they were in a football game, regardless of what the scoreboard says.
Right. So let's go ahead and take another 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll get you score updates from around the playoffs here today. Also get you the playoff picture for here in Southeast Kansas as we march on here in St. Paul. It is 44-6. The St. Paul Indians trailing Burlingame Bearcats. Again, you can listen locally on 105.5 FM, online at hot1055.net, and also on the Chanute Radio YouTube channel. Back in 2 minutes for more coverage of 8-man Division I regional playoffs. Back here at halftime, 44-6, St. Paul trailing this ball game. Let's go ahead and get some scoring drives summaries from Mike here at the here in the halftime show.
Yeah, as old Dan's used to this, and you're not probably used to it, but I do my best to keep the stats. I've got a guess on some individuals. I'll try to get to those, but pretty sure the scoring drives at least are correct, so we'll talk about that a little bit. That first quarter earlier in the game, we talked about the kind of the pace. It was a methodical, slow pace because there was only actually 4 possessions total in the first quarter, each team driving methodically down the field. Burlingame was able to score. The first possession they had, actually, St. Paul held them to a punt, punted the balls away, but St. Paul couldn't come back and score on their own. They were also had to punt. Next drive, Burlingame got started, drove the length of the field, where the quarterback came with a 2-yard touchdown run with 6:38 left to go in the first quarter, brought the score to 8-0. St. Paul then held on to the ball, but still had to punt. They drove the ball down the field that time and had to punt the ball away, and Burlingame then really turned it on as they wound down the first quarter, got out of there and got into the second quarter, really turned on the gas because once they touched the ball, they scored every time they touched the ball in the second quarter. On a 2-yard touchdown run, they also had a 32-yard touchdown run, which was the biggest touchdown score that they had in the entire first half. They had a 19-yard passing play, followed that up with a 30-yard touchdown pass, a 15-yard pass, And then Noah Winter put the only points on the board for St. Paul, but it was a dandy. It was a 45-yard touchdown run. He broke free into space, turned on the gas, and his speed took him all the way to the end zone, which brought us to our score at halftime as Burlingame threatened right before half, so a little small victory for the defense holding them out. But at halftime, we ended up with our score of 44-6. Individually, as near as I can tell, and I'm going to say they're close, but not definitely, I wouldn't put them in the record books. But for St. Paul Indians, not a lot to talk about on offense individually. Chandler Struthers, we've heard big numbers from him in the first half traditionally, but Burlingame's really shut him down. He's been held to 49 yards rushing is all Chandler had in the first half, which is not a bad performance, but not what we're used to from Chandler. Actually, Noah Winter had a 45 yards total rushing in the first half. First time all season we've seen Noah leading at halftime in the rushing column. Cameron Parker had 3 yards rushing, and Braven Bourne pitched in a couple. The passing game, Braven Bourne actually threw more passes than Noah did. Noah was 0 for 1 in his passing attempts. Braven Bourne was 1 of 6, and he also had 1 interception. He did have a 3-yard actually, he had 1 interception out of 6 pass attempts. So Cameron Parker had 3 yards, like I said. Noah Winter has really worked hard all season long. He's been a spark plug for the offense and the defense, and he's always been counted on to run hard. When he does get the ball in his hands, you can count on him to drive his legs and run hard. We'll look for Chandler Struthers here in the second half. If he's shaking off that ankle injury that he laid out on the field for, kind of worried everyone. Looks like he's good to go here at halftime, but we'll look for him to really make things happen, or they're going to need him heavily in the second half to stay in this ball game.
This is halftime of the St. Paul and Burlingame playoff game. Looks like both teams are coming back here on the sidelines to get ready. Again, as we mentioned earlier, look at around Southeast Kansas in Class 3A football. Galena upset by Wellsville 27-22 in that matchup. Caney Valley able to handle Osage City by a final score of 43-16 here earlier today. Yesterday, we saw Class 4A Division I get underway, where it was not a good day for Southeast Kansas. Labette County upended by Ottawa 45-13. Independence knocked out by Lewisburg 20-0. Then in Class 4A Division II, saw quite a few close games in the area where Girard upset Columbus 28-24. Frontenac manhandled Iola 56-14. And as we mentioned here on the 8-man side of things, St. Paul, the last 8-man school to be in contention. West Elk lost earlier today as they lost to Osborne. Spearville and St. Francis both advancing, so 3 of the final 4 are set for next week.
The road wasn't going to get any easier as they moved on, should they be able to move on, because that 8-man teams, 8-man Division I and II teams for that matter from out west have traditionally always been big and fast and strong and just piling on the points, and I don't think that's any different this year. So either team that moves on from here by no means has an easy road to hoe, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. St. Paul, they need to come out here now and strike early, get some points on the board.
Well, good news for St. Paul. They will start the second half with the ball, or at least receive the kickoff. So we get ready here for the second half. I do want to take a chance here again to thank the sponsors for making this broadcast of St. Paul Indian football, not just the playoffs, but also all season long possible. The town really showing their support. I believe we pretty much have just about everyone in town on.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. They've done a great job, and they've always been supportive no matter what the kids need. It's all about the kids, and they are happy to do everything they can to try and bring everything, especially I know everyone likes to listen on the radio, and that's really important. So anytime we've needed any sponsorships or anything to anyone to kick in and help, it's been easy to find because everyone's happy to do it.
Yeah, it's I want to say we are running now close to about 8 years.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
105.5.
Steady, yep, and it's really nice. I know everyone appreciates listening on 105 and enjoys it a lot, and that's why it's so nice to have such good sponsorship to bring that to the people.
Now they're going to switch sides, I believe. There's a little miscommunication.
Confusion there on which side to stand on. As long as we get the ball, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So as mentioned earlier, too, I know for a long road trip that Burlingame they have, their fans are pretty well planted in their seats.
They are. They got here early. They're staying late, and they're with the team. I'm going to guess they have as many fans on the other side of the field as what St. Paul has for here on a home game.
Now, also, too, this probably helps, but we got to fall back tonight.
That's right. Yeah, don't forget to set your clock back.
Yeah. So I figure, well, we're going to get back that extra hour anyways. Go ahead and zoom out a bit.
See what we're doing here. We got the referee or the official. There he's handing the ball to the kicker, and we'll get this thing started. It took them a little bit to get things lined up like they liked them, but here we go.
Right there. So here we go. Struthers back deep for St. Paul. Set to kick off for Burlingame is Hofstadt, who we've called his name a few times. Low kick, and it's going to be picked up over by Winter. Gets it up to 30, darting forward. That'll be 1st and 10 for St. Paul. So, sunset, lights shining down here in St. Paul. It'll be 1st and 10, close to the 28-yard line.
St. Paul going to come out here and really work hard to get things moving quickly is what I expect.
11:55, third quarter, 44-6 the score. Winter shotgun. Has two receivers make that Bourne. He gets chased out, hauls down the ball for himself, chopped down for a 5-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 10. Look to pass. Defense still brought a linebacker in to chase him, and with that speed, Bourne was able to make a miss.
Yeah, good vision by Bourne, too. He could see his receivers were covered, so he made a quick decision to just tuck the ball and run it, was able to make something out of nothing and get a 5-yard gain.
And Bourne, a junior, so this playing time will pay dividends for him. Now 2nd down and 5. Dropping back. Bourne, he's looking, and he's going to heave it up. Got his man. It is Struthers. Angles it out to the outside. 20, 15, 10, and he gets out of bounds where it'll be 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. And this St. Paul offense coming to life early on.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we saw there. If Chandler gets some room out in space, he can really turn on the jets. And a good effort by Burlingame. They took a nice angle of pursuit to get over there and get him run out of bounds before he could score.
So it'll be 1st and 10, two receivers near left. Bourne keeps it for himself, goes to the outside tackle, and he pushes forward, close to a 5-yard pickup. That front line getting a good push.
Yeah, still got some fire in him. You don't see him come out here laying down in the second half.
2nd and 5 for St. Paul. Bourne coming in. As I said, look over there at Burlingame's defense. I don't think that they've switched out
Not very
anyone
much.
from that first.
Yeah, I think still first teamers in there.
Now it'll be a pitch back to Winter. Got it. And touchdown, St. Paul.
Right there is evidence of how hard Noah Winter runs. He had a defender to beat, and he just ran right over him. Good job by Noah Winter.
And now the Indians down 44-12. Not out of this one just yet. Now on for the 2-point play. Try to get that 2 extra coming in Winter.
You know, the Indians have a pretty significant deficit here, but these 2-point conversions are really important.
Mm-hmm. Well, likewise, Burlingame only missed 2 in that first half. Winter under center, I formation. It'll be to Struthers. Bounces to the outside and gets cut from behind. And it'll be 44-12 for St. Paul, but they take their opening drive and get on the board, and we'll be back in 30 seconds for the kickoff. This is St. Paul Indian football on Hot 105. the St. Paul Indians start the second half. Able to drive it down 70 yards. That's not right. 60 yards.
60 yards. You got to take 10 off.
Yep. I looked at him like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's all right. I understand.
Actually, I'm surprised we're early on in the third, and that's the first time I've made that
No,
mistake.
you did. Yeah, you've adjusted well.
I think I should get a gold star for that. Now here's the kickoff. End over end boot deep near the goal line. Now up to the 10. Angled to the outside edge. Turns the corner. One man to beat. Gets bounced out of bounds at the 38, 39-yard line.
Yeah.
Good, healthy return.
Nice return, but back to St. Paul's offense on that initial drive. That's what they needed to do. They needed those points, not only to keep them in this game, but just for the moral confidence that it gave them, knowing that they're able to move the ball down the field.
Now, we saw how Burlingame struggled on their final drive of the half. Let's see how they pick it up, because I think just as equally, even with this 44-12 lead, that they need to finish this off for them. Now shotgun, quarterback, low snap, and it will be a handoff. Bounces to the outside, finds a crease, and the first down. 12-yard pickup for the running back. That is Budarakis, excuse me. Budarakis with the first down. He was hit quite a few times, but kept the legs moving to get that outside edge.
You know, another thing will be interesting to watch as we get deeper into this third quarter. If St. Paul can stay in this game and keep themselves on the field, these big guys from Burlingame haven't played a full game all year, so there's definitely the chance that they could wear down. You know, you don't know when conditioning comes into play, but that'll be something to watch.
Now 1st and 10. And it will be the quarterback keeping it himself as he gets chased down the line, but stays up, stretches out, and picks up 8. And Sporing, slow to get up, bounces up at the 25-yard line.
Strung the defense out again, and they weren't able to keep him turned inside. They've really concentrated on the right side of the St. Paul defense. Well, the offensive right would be the left side of the St. Paul defensive lines, where they seem to have made the majority of their runs.
Shotgun. One man back deep, 2 receivers far left. And it'll be Sporing keeping it. Late pitch, gets it out there, first down, and then some after the initial hit.
And that quick, they ran to the left.
Up to the 18. So here in the third quarter, 44-12 with under 9 to play.
Burlingame will have a first down.
Burlingame keeping the ball moving. And they've broken off some good chunks of yardage.
Yeah, it looked like there might have been a stun on the defensive side that time. I saw the left defensive end, Jace McCracken, on a crash, and they ran past him on that option play.
So 1st and 10 at the 18 of St. Paul. Burlingame going left to right, shotgun, pistol set. And it will be a handoff to the man back deep. Budarakis with the run again.
Number 2, Dominic Budarakis on the carry.
Gets it up for a 5-yard pickup inside the 15. Now Struthers will come out for this defensive set. Front line for St. Paul going a 3-man set. 3-3-2. Shotgun. And it'll be a handoff onto the near side. And pushing. First down for the Bearcats.
Bearcats are keeping the ball on the ground now. Zoe looks like they're going to try and take up some time here in the third quarter.
First and goal from the Indian 7-yard line.
Clock will roll with 8:21. As you mentioned, Bearcats, they're taking their time. They're not rushing up to the line of scrimmage. They're
not in a hurry.
Sporing shotgun, has a man to his right, one receiver near right. Now it will be, there will be a penalty down. Budarakis will get into the end zone for a touchdown, but it will come back.
Give you an idea how hard Budarakis is running, Zoe. He carried Brave and Born on his back for about the last 4 yards of that run.
Give him a piggyback ride
Yeah,
to the end zone.
I think it's going to come back, though.
And it will. It'll be 1st and goal near the 12-yard line.
So we'll negate the touchdown. First and goal from the 12-yard line for Burlingame.
1st and goal. One receiver near right. This has all been ground and pound for the Bearcats. Sporing. Ball's
on the
loose!
ground.
Oh, it's going to be picked up. Picked up by
I don't think he
Budarakis.
advanced that. His knee was
Well,
down.
that's what I was about ready to say. His knee was down as he picked it up,
Yeah.
which meant automatically he would have been down. It wasn't like he was bent over trying to get it.
Going to give him a couple yards on it, though, it looked like.
2nd down and goal from the 11, so a bounce break for the Bearcats. Ball at the 11-yard line. Shotgun. One wing on the near right. Sporing has a man to his left. It will be a quarterback keeper. Gets a block, runs into pair of defenders, but gets up to the 6.
Colin Carlson in with a good stop. He came up and made a nice hit on the quarterback.
Stood his ground. Now 3rd down and goal from the 5. Coach Watrick getting the attention of his defense.
We've seen St. Paul do a lot of stunts sometimes, and you begin to think sometimes they run that base defense, not stunt quite so much that it may be more effective, but we'll see what they do here.
Bearcats, 6 minutes left and a timeout. Timeout called by the Bearcats.
Interesting.
That is. I said this has just been a very
Been a different drive, definitely a different type of drive than we've seen the entire game.
different style of game plan.
Sure is.
Because before they just seemed to be going for a flurry of plays and running right at you as hard as they can, but this time, not so much.
Well, they've slowed down. They're more methodical now, and that could be one aspect of it. But, yeah, up until now, we've seen them basically going for the throat and just, as hard as they can, as fast as they can, throwing the ball around. And this was just a slow, methodical drive, but it's working. It's all the way down the field.
This is regional coverage of 8-man Division I football playoffs in Kansas. Zoe Lopez on play-by-play. Mike McCracken on color. Back at the studio at the radio station is Floyd running the audio board, and we have Kristen here running the camera. So
Floyd and Kristen helped Dan and I all season long. We appreciate their help. They've done a great job helping us out on these games all season long.
Well, you guys have done play-by-play in color now for, 3 years?
Yeah, it's the 2nd or 3rd year.
And Kristen, as she was coming up here, she says, I don't think I've ever met
That's what I thought. Maybe she didn't even know what we look like. Talked to us a lot, but didn't know what we look like.
So now it's going to be 3rd down and goal from the 5. Bearcats breaking huddle. Shotgun with one receiver out far left. Running back deep is Budarakis. Fake handoff, Budarakis. No, he's going to come down the block, and it's going to be Sporing, and turns the corner, touchdown. Touchdown by the Bearcats as they push the lead back to 38 as it stands. So the timeout, well wasted.
That was all Sporing, too. He danced around, looked for a receiver. He wanted to throw the ball, and then he tucked it, made a good decision, and then he made a really nice run. He was able to avoid the defenders and get in across the pylon and make a score.
So 50-12. Burlingame able to take their first drive this second half into the end zone. Sporing will have a split back. 2 receivers. Under center. And it'll be dragger out, up, and did he haul it in? Yes,
Yep.
Catch is the call. Touchdown grab. And Burlingame now up by 40. Makes it 52-12. And 6 minutes left here in the third. Let's take a 30-second timeout. Back for the kickoff. After this is St. Paul Indian football here on Hot 105. Back in St. Paul, third quarter, 6:02 left. Burlingame will kick the ball off to St. Paul after getting that scoring on the board.
This is a must-score drive for St. Paul. They've got to put points on the board again and keep themselves in this game. There's a long ways to go and a lot of ground to make up, but the only way they can do that is by making sure they're getting points as fast as they can at this point.
And the kickoff, this one's going to be a low-line kick. Picked up at the 20, 25. It's Winter cutting out to the far sideline. Stiff arms one man to the ground, back to the 20, 35, 30. And he's going to be brought down at the 30. Did a lot of hopping back and forth there.
Did a lot of hopping back and forth. He had a nice stiff arm. I thought maybe he was going to bust that one loose a little bit, but there was nice coverage by Burlingame.
So first and 10 from the 30. And see what the St. Paul Indians can conjure up here. 3 turnovers in the game for St. Paul. Thankfully, they've been able to keep penalties to a minimum. Now first and 10 after last 2 drives scoring. St. Paul looking to keep that rolling here. Dropping back, Bourne. As he's chased out of the pocket, he will pick up 5 yards as he gets gang tackled at the 35-yard line.
Number 15, Braven Bourne on the carry.
Great run by him.
Yeah, it was a little bit slow there developing. The receivers, he was wanting them to get down the field and open, but they were well covered. He just didn't have anyone to throw to, so he made a good choice, tucked the ball in and ran again like he did here on the drive before last.
Yeah, against the defense, again, bringing those outside edges.
That's the difference in putting the heat on the quarterback.
2nd and 5 at the 35. Bourne under center, I formation. And he will hand off. Ball's loose, bouncing around. It's still loose, and the Bearcats will recover. Botched handoff. It'll be recovered by Burlingame.
That was about the worst thing in the world that could have happened at that point.
Hofstad with the recovery. Ball will be at the 29. And it'll be first and 10. That is the 4th turnover of the night. Just after all the momentum seemed to be coming back, at least leveling out for St. Paul. They get that, and now Burlingame working with the short field. 1 man on the near right side, shotgun. Giffen is the near receiver. Called his name once on the touchdown. It'll be a handoff. Greenwood immediately stopped in the backfield. They're crashing down for St. Paul was Anthony Albertini.
He's tackled by number 26, Colin Carlson, for
And
loss of 1.
Colin Carlson also getting in there, the 6'1", 145 sophomore. Is able to push right through that line. St. Paul's defense they've gotten some big hits.
Yeah, they've hit really well. It's just a matter of trouble with arm tackling, not wrapping up.
Shotgun. And hard count. Oh, whoa. That one's close. We got a good view of it on our Chanute Radio YouTube channel. It looked, yes, the defense, they were charging, but I don't think their helmets.
I'd like to see the replay on that.
It didn't look like the crown of a helmet even came close on that one. So now it'll be 2nd down and a long 6. For the Bearcats. And now changing the play is Sporing. Shotgun, 1 man to his right, 1 receiver far left. Dropping back, he will pass it up, and it is complete. Almost busted through Bourne for the touchdown, but it was caught. Gets it up to the 7-yard line.
I think they changed that play to a pass because all of St. Paul defense was within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. They didn't have anybody back at the safety position.
Now it'll be 1st and goal from the 8. 52-12 with 3:46 to go in the 3rd. Burlingame dominating. So now stutter step, Sporing goes in, touchdown. Sporing yet again gets it on the board. And now it is 58-12 with the 2-point conversion pending.
That's going to be the ball game, Zola. That's a 45-point
Oh,
mercy
it is.
rule.
Okay. So there you go. That is the final for tonight. Burlingame over St. Paul, 52-12 to end their season here tonight. And St. Paul tried to give it a good run, but Burlingame just way too much.
Yeah, it was just they were just too much, and that's exactly right.
So let's go ahead and let's go back to the studio for a 1-minute timeout. Come back, give you final post-game stats and analysis, and wrap things up from St. Paul as the Indians end their season with a 58-12 loss over the Burlingame Bearcats. Back in 1 minute for the post-game wrap-up here on Hot 105 and the Chanute Radio YouTube channel. Back here on Hot 105, 5.net, Hot 105, as the St. Paul Indians are being awarded their runner-up trophy in the regional championship ball game, as the Burlingame Wildcats are being awarded their championship trophy, showcasing it to their fans. And Bearcats, excuse me. It's so good not doing that. But let's go ahead and get your unofficial stats for the game.
Yeah, really not much to change after the halftime stats. Zola, slow, methodical drive by Burlingame ate up some clock, but St. Paul went into halftime on a good defensive break and a chance to get back in this game, which they did. They came out right after half, received the second half kickoff, drove the ball down the field, topped it off with a Noah Winters 6-yard run with 10:24 left. They weren't able to make the extra point, but it looked like the offense had a spark, the defense had a spark, and thought maybe they were going to try and fight their way back into this ball game. But the Burlingame Bearcat offense and defense proved to be just too much for St. Paul, and there's a reason why they are undefeated on the year. I think St. Paul gave them as good a battle as they could have, and probably as good a battle as they've seen so far this year, but it just wasn't enough. So a lot of credit goes to St. Paul. We talked about that, and I'll say it again. You know, nothing to hang their heads about. They're regional runners-up. It hasn't happened for a long time. Great job by this senior class. Look forward to lots of new and exciting things next year. A lot of bright spots to look forward to in the future for St. Paul football.
Yeah, and again, I think you hit everything on the head there. Nothing for St. Paul to hang their heads about at all in this ball game, at all for their season. From where this program was not that long ago to where they are finishing this season here today, they should absolutely have all the utmost pride in what they've done, and I think restoring a lot of pride and a lot of excitement in St. Paul football here in this small community. And it's been an exciting season for them. I know it's going to be a tough pill to swallow for the 5 seniors, and you know, give yourself 24 hours and get ready for basketball season. But you know, whenever they look back on it, they have nothing at all to be ashamed of. And it's sometimes a game they had big passes early on that they dropped. They had some fumbles, but that's the way the game goes. And with a team like Burlingame, you cannot have those kind of mishaps, because as we saw on those turnovers there in that second quarter, they turned them into points in a hurry and really avalanched the game away from them. So, but for St. Paul, a great season and something to build off of for next year. And I know from talking with some locals that the incoming freshmen should provide a continuation of what this group of seniors have built.
Yeah, it's going to hurt pretty bad, like you said, for the next 24 hours or so. But, you know, the sun will come up tomorrow and the next day, and by Monday or Tuesday, maybe they'll be able to look back on this and start to really feel good about themselves and what they did accomplish. And you know, everyone in the city and the town of St. Paul, even the area, supports them, and we're all behind them 100%, and we're all excited about the opportunities and looking forward to things to come in the future. So great job by the seniors. We're proud of all them, and we're proud of the whole team for what the work they did this year. It's been a lot of fun all season long. I know Dan really hated to miss this final game. You know, the regional game, had to be out of town on some business, but appreciate you stepping in and helping him. But Dan and I have had a great time all season, and really thank our sponsors for letting us do this. It's been a lot of fun and a great ride, and we'll look forward to things to come in the future.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate the sponsors for making the broadcast possible, allowing us to get down here and do the broadcast, not just today, but all season long and into basketball as well. And for you and Dan for making what is long hauls on Friday nights
this year, that's for sure.
And we greatly appreciate everyone for tuning in here. So for one final time, the St. Paul Indians end their season at 9-2 and are the regional runner-up for Burlingame. They are now improved to a 11-0 mark and will now get to the Final Four, where they will play next week. For everyone who made this broadcast possible, on behalf of Floyd, Kristen, Mike, Dan, I'm Zol Lopez, and you've been listening to St. Paul Indian Football here on Hot 105. Good night.